We're back to covering Metroid lore in the traditional way, and to start us off, let's look at the living weapon, Kanden. Metroid Prime hunters brought in a lot of new faces, and Kanden is the first we see in-game. It's also the only time we see him in the Metroid franchise. Kanden's origins are surprisingly well defined. He is a member of the species known as the Onoma. Kanden, as he currently exists, was the product of the Onoma Living Weapons Project, which aimed to create a super soldier that was indestructible. The project was held in what's only known as a sinister laboratory. The project also wanted to build various types of living weapons, including the Volt Driver and Sting Lava, both of which Kanden uses. These living weapons had the ability to use the DNA and energy from the immediate environment and several creatures. That sounds a little familiar. The primary focus of the project though was to create an invincible and emotionless super soldier. During the mental combat coding process, the stress being put upon the Onoma test subject would cause a critical failure. That test subject was Kanden, and as a result of the experiments, he was left exceptionally powerful but also insane. He would go on to destroy the laboratory his current form was born in, killing all the scientists and departing for space to become a bounty hunter. Only a tight circle of entities knew about the Onoma Living Weapons project. It's unknown how much time had passed since then, but after Kanden destroyed the sinister laboratory, he had heard of a powerful super weapon in the Oubliette cluster. With his programming to hunt, fight, and destroy, he naturally felt a desire to seek out this weapon to claim it all for himself, and to be the ultimate bounty hunter with no competition. Kanden, along with 6 other bounty hunters, arrived at the Oubliette cluster and fought to gain the 8 octoliths, which were the keys to the supposed ultimate weapon. Only one would be able to open the gate, and that would be Samus Aran, who had also heard the call of the ultimate weapon. She had unlocked the path to the prize, which opened up a dimensional rift. This revealed the Oubliette, which all 7 of the hunters rushed towards. Samus was the last to arrive, and she would see Kanden, as well as the other hunters, open fire on an orb. They would break the orb thanks to their barrage. This would unleash Goria, who was the true source of the call for the ultimate weapon. The hunters would realize this too late though, and Goria would attack them, draining them of their weapons before engaging in a battle to the death with Samus. Samus would defeat Goria with the only weapon capable of damaging it, the Omega Cannon.
Hey, I've seen this one. This is a classic.
What do you mean you've seen this?
Upon Goria's defeat, the Oubliette would start to fall apart. Kanden and the other hunters would escape the final explosion that tore the Oubliette to oblivion in just the nick of time. That is about as much as we know of in terms of Kanden's story, so let's go over Kanden's traits before going into what I think could be done with the character moving forward. Kanden is a member of the Onoma species, but we don't know if this is the common look for them. Kanden himself is constantly covered in an electromagnetic field as strong as one found in most lightning storms. This is a prevailing theme of Kanden as his primary and living weapon, the Volt Driver, fires electricity in the form of ball lightning. It has the fastest rate of fire out of the primary weapons of the 7 hunters, with the exception of the power beam. The standard projectiles of the Volt Driver are blindingly fast, only the Imperialist's instantaneous beam is faster. When charged by Kanden, the Volt Driver fires a massive but slow-moving ball of lightning that homes in on a desired target. If the ball impacts the target, it will cause immense damage and also disrupt the target's visor and distort their vision. This ability is very useful to Kanden, as he will use the opportunity to finish his target off with further rapid-fire shots from the Volt Driver or attack from behind. Alternatively, if the situation is dire for Kanden, he will use the Volt Driver to disorientate his opponent and escape by transforming into his alternate form, the Sting Lava. Much like Kanden himself and the Volt Driver, the Sting Lava was made during the Onoma Living Weapons project. It imbues Kanden with genetic material from the most dangerous insects in the galaxy. What those are, we don't know. The Sting Lava form looks like a segmented slug-like creature that moves like a snake. The Sting Lava can deploy lava bombs, which detach from the end of the tail and regenerate. These lava bombs can track a nearby target, move to it, and detonate on impact. If Kanden stays on top of the bomb, he will jump in the air much like Samus with her movable bomb jump. Interestingly, the Sting Lava jump is slightly higher than Samus's. While Kanden himself is quite slow compared to the other hunters, his Sting Lava is the fastest alternate form, second only to Silex's Lockjaw. So that's it in terms of what we know about Kanden. I'll be honest, Kanden is probably the one character in Hunters that hasn't really got a clear set of potential, unlike Silex, Weevil, and Trace. But that doesn't mean there's nothing there. I would kind of like for Kanden to represent what Samus could have been if she was used as what Ravenbeak would have wanted her to be, serving as another parallel much like Dark Samus and the SAX, only this time in a form that's completely unrecognizable by comparison. This would represent how much of a different being Samus would have been had she been used for Ravenbeak's goals of power and domination. Kanden has a surprisingly similar backstory to Samus. He was genetically engineered to be the ultimate weapon, as was Samus, but the intentions were the complete opposite. Samus was augmented and trained to protect the galaxy. Kanden was built to be an unstoppable force. Samus was able to withstand and utilize the mental training she was put through, while Kanden was not. And if he was to be used again, I'd like for that dynamic to be explored. It wouldn't even have to be a fault of his own. He could be depicted as an innocent being who was being controlled by his programming. It's this programming that has to be stopped though, causing chaos and sending Kanden into a frenzy. Maybe even causing his body to corrupt, turning into a storm of electricity that can't be allowed to live. And so Samus would have to put a stop to it. This would be a great opportunity to tackle her care for innocence. It's basically an exploration into the trolley problem, where Samus has to choose between killing the one innocent being within the monster of Kanden, or let that creature kill several more. She would have to make that choice, and it's probably not one she'd make lightly. I'd really like to see this idea in a comic or manga of some kind. It'd really work there, as it gives us more Metroid first off, but also a chance to explore Kanden as a character that doesn't require a game. Just a short story between two characters who were designed for completely opposing reasons, clashing and then having Samus's ideology challenged in the form of Kanden, the weapon who was a living being much like her. So that's the story behind Kanden, his traits as well as what I think could be done with this character in the future. Let me know what you think, as the more I thought about the comic idea, the more I grew to really like it. It builds on Kanden, who was in the shadows, let's be honest, but also gives Samus a chance to grow as a character and have her beliefs challenged. That's really good story potential right there. But there was a surprising amount to cover here with Kanden, and it was good to finally talk about him. Tell me what you think about Kanden, and if you played Metroid Prime Hunters, did you main him in the multiplayer? Let me know in the comments. If you like this sort of video, consider liking, subscribing, sharing this video with other Metroid fans. I'm sure they'll thank you, and I will too. And if you want to support me, I have a Patreon where you can see your name on screen, as you can see, get early access to videos, and even personally suggest videos that you want to see. I'll say again to not give any money if you can't afford it. Getting this video around will help me out just as much, if not more so. And if you like Metroid lore and have Twitter, follow @MetroidLogbook. It's an account I run that is purely dedicated to posting lore on the Metroid universe, and today's post spoke about the mutated Emperor Ing, so please check it out. And with that, this video is finished. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.